And just like that, we are live. Hello, Mr. Repek. How you doing, my friend?
Whoa, I thought there would, something will happen first, but yeah, oh man, I'm not nervous at all. I'm really happy to be here and I'm feeling great. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. It's awesome to actually have you here. You know what I was thinking before inviting you to Twig? I was thinking like, for sure I had Repek on one of the episodes, and then I'm like thinking. No, for sure I had him. And then I talked to, I think I think it was Ryan. Ryan's like, yeah, for sure you had Repek on. And I was like, did I really? And then I actually went back, checked our YouTube channel. I'm like, no, I did not have Repek on ever. So I was like, wow, that's a big mistake. So yeah, it's awesome to have you. For those of you that don't know Repek, he is a Gwent streamer, but more importantly, he is our lovely senior event manager, which is the most important thing. So he keeps us happy. He takes care of all the events. And when I was thinking about what to say during this twig, I reminded myself of us going on a trip to Poznan and London to show a presentation of Cyberpunk 2077 before its launch. And I remember that because I am known for not rehearsing things and doing them like full YOLO, and you were the person sitting with a script saying like, keep your lines. Did you memorize your lines? And it's also like, it's something that always stayed with me, that you're this person that keeps everything organized. And I feel like, as you being a senior events manager, you are very good at keeping things in check and making things go smooth, while I am always like, yeah, YOLO, whatever. So yeah, thank you for that. That's one thing that I wanted to bring before we kind of start off.
Thank you for this PTSD, for me, because it was my first. I think Poznan was my first booth. Like I was in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were presenting the very important game, and my lead saying, "Hey, Repek, you're going there. I believe in you." And then there's this Buja, and I'm sitting, okay, man, please, like get this right at least once.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I realized, I think at this time I was really, I wanted to do this right.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I learned back then, like 2 years ago, that we are all pros, and you knew what you were doing. You did great. So yeah,
I'm kind
I have
of
only great memories.
yeah. I'm kind of well known for like not preparing but nailing it on the event, but I don't prepare for it, and I don't like rehearsals because I'm like, I don't need rehearsing. It's just a waste of time. But then when the pressure is on and when everybody's looking at you, then it's like, that the adrenaline kind of lifts you and lets you go further. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But since then, I have never doubted you anymore.
Good,
So.
good. Good. Yeah. And also worth noting is you are the key pillar of whatever we do with esports. So you also manage everything connected to the players, the casters. You're also with us during the event. You keep us fed, which is also very important. But there's much more that falls into that. So. But we'll get to you. We'll get to what you do in CDPR as event manager. We'll talk a little bit about streaming. I also heard that you're supposed to be doing a stream today at 8 p.m. CST, so highly encourage you all to check that out. But yeah, before that, we will talk about what's happening this week in Gwent. It's been quite a slow week, although we saw this week the first meta report from TLG, but we'll get to that. But first, we'll talk about the red news that we have for this one. Two quick ones. So you have Regis's Journey story in full length available on playgwent.com, translated in all languages, so you can check it out for yourselves. And we started posting the premium versions of the new cards that came with Forgotten Treasures, so the 21 cards. I chose a couple of them, and they will be showing up on the website throughout the next couple weeks. So enjoy those because some of them are super cool. I think all of them are super cool, actually. And we also had the latest one 2 hours ago was the Chonky Toad, which I enjoy a lot. Moving on, community news. Most important community news for this week is that baby Leo was born on 420. That's an interesting day to be born on, but I'm super happy for Shinmiri and his wife. So kudos to them. Solid job, well done, well delivered, and most importantly, this will have to be a Gwent, a future Gwent deck brewer, player, killer. Like he's gonna take it after his dad. I can see it. And if he doesn't, I wish him already all the best to this. Whatever he does in life, he'll be successful. He has amazing parents. So kudos to the Fang family. And yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, Repek, you're also a dad, so you know that kids pretty much like change your life totally. Yep, agreed, agreed. And Oyerfeldy, thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody to This Week in Gwent. We're going on through the community news right now. So yeah, like I mentioned, we have the Gwent meta report done by TLG, which dropped this week. Super cool stuff. Actually, what it highlights in this one is that Priestess is OP, of course, and that Skellige is performing quite well. So no surprises here. Those are, I think, the two of the most super like consistent decks. So Priestess and Self Wound. Mm-hmm. Respect.
I checked the priestess deck and I said, okay, maybe it is the best one right now. For sure it is, if TLG is saying so. But oh man, this is so hard to pilot for me, at least.
Yeah.
And so for now, I think I will try some others. But thank you for the meta report.
Yeah, it's super good. Did I ambush stockpile and dwarves all kind of at the 4 points place, so they probably need a little bit more tuning. But I feel like those are super good and consistent decks still, and I feel like they are maybe some of them, at least dwarves. I think they might be a little bit too overperforming because especially if you look at lower ranks, you're able to play this deck and pretty much go 2-0 very easily. So yeah, that's it's going to be interesting what's going to happen there moving forward. But yeah, really awesome report by TLG. Highly encourage everybody to check it out. And we have one more news, which is the how well do you know The Witcher? Oh no, this is the wrong one. This is the proper one. So how well do you know?
This is a good question, right, Buja? So
yeah.
How good do you knew The Witcher?
Me not so well, as it came out from the first episode, because I made out of White Orchard, which was fine, but my resting place was Velen, which I feel like the system cheated me, but it is actually also my fault because I haven't reread the book since a very, very long time. So I forgot about the Cat Witchers, which I think was one of the most difficult questions because the rest of the questions that everybody had, they were very easy.
Easy. You know when you are sitting when you are sitting in front of the screen. I watched all your I watched the full episode 1, right? And when I was watching and looking at you and other participants, and I was saying, wow, this is so
That's easy, right?
What is he thinking about him or she, right? And then when you're on the other side, then it's this very easy question, and what if I and you are starting to think, if I make a mistake right now, Buja will laugh. All the company will say, "Hey, how is it possible he didn't know that, right? So then you know you are starting to sweat. So
yeah. I mean, the pressure of actually it being recorded live. Sorry about the back noise, but it's Geralt playing with a ball that I should have taken away from him, so he wouldn't be making the noise. But yeah, if once you're in the hot seat, that's when the pressure is on. So it's quite crazy. But yeah, you're in the first new episode. We don't want you to spoil how far you will get into it. So there is Liz, there's Spessy, you, and Miss Magitech. So if you haven't seen it, highly encourage you to check it out. It's on Gwentfinity's YouTube channel, and yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, kudos for you to getting out in the first one. I think all of you did super well, and yeah, I hope that we will reach one day the redemption round where we can all come back and kind of redeem ourselves, because that would be awesome. And I would totally want to go back and do it once again, because I think it's just fun. And the format is awesome, and everyone I talk to is pretty much 10 out of 10. And Lionheart as a host is just freaking incredible. But we already know that because he casts for us, right?
Yeah, so the Gwent trivia was great. We took part in this, and it was amazing. It was also nerve-wracking for me.
Yeah.
I remember preparing for this for one day just to be sure that I knew that there was no chance to win against Zubidoo, but I just wanted to beat you, Vlad, or Ryan.
That's easy. That's easy. I don't think we put the bar too high. Like
no. Vlad's score was pretty high.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was, but the value, the production value, everything was the passion behind this. There's Marcus, who is like taking care. He's just like event manager there.
Yeah.
He's taking care of everything, so you feel super comfortable, and you know that everything is gonna work. And right now, what they are doing with this new show, it's also amazing. Like Lionheart is natural, so natural in this role. Like,
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, he's natural. Has the professional look with the shirt and the blazer always. So he looks super good, and plus he adds this millionaire flair to the whole thing. So kudos to him.
I'm pretty sure he's going to bed in one of his suits. Like, I'm not gonna believe him. He owns any pajamas. He has one more, right?
Yeah.
One more suit.
I've only seen him like in the t-shirt that you're wearing, like the jersey, plus in always super well dressed in suits. So
right?
I think yeah.
Right. So I guess this is the first t-shirt. Like, thanks to us, he has the first t-shirt in his life. Then other than that, probably he only has suits.
Exactly. So that's it for community news. One meme for today. What is my purpose? You're here to pull out amphibious assault. Dark clouds gather over Temeria. Beautiful. And especially when you read this meme, you think of the line that he says. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Easy meme. Going back to you, Repek, because yeah, that's it. Memes. Okay, senior event manager, Mr. Repek, aka Magic. What do you do in CDPR? Tell us.
Well, as you said, I'm making sure that everyone is hydrated and not hungry, but it's also a teamwork, because I'm not alone there. We, as a events team, we always work as a team, just like our esports team. We are there as a group. I think it's not possible to take like one or two people out, because it would all fall apart. So yeah, this is the same, but yeah. So I'm always joking that my main like duty is to make sure that everyone is moving from place A to place B, and is always on time in the right place. And this is what we do as event managers, that everyone feels comfortable and just can do their job. Like, be them, like be you, be the host, be the, I don't know, stream director, whatever.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like events would be like, you guys have like a full blown out team for this, because if you look at like the whole CDPR, we do events for all of our IPs, and all of them are kind of different. But I'm really happy that we got you on the Gwent side, because clearly you're super passionate about Gwent, and it shows. And not only do you stream the game yourself, but also you like, you know, you've always been a Gwent player at heart and at core. But you also have always been into board games and card games. So how did this kind of passion start for you?
Oh, so first of all, I don't think it for me, for a person like me, it's like in my nature. I don't think I can work if I'm not passionate about something.
Same.
I think mm, I think I would fail like miserably if it were not the case. So I'm really lucky that I love Witcher universe, and then I think I started playing like probably many of us, like when we were teenagers, we started playing card games, board games, and
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time playing tabletop RPGs. So this is one where my love with cyberpunk started in
Okay.
the 90s. So I never dreamed that like 30 years later I would be working in a company that's like doing the
Yeah.
cyberpunk game. But Witcher was first, of course.
Nice.
So books in the 90s, and at the same time, I don't think we had any really good game based on Witcher. Andrzej
No.
Sapkowski wrote this. There was this tabletop RPG
Mm-hmm.
that he created. It was a simple book. It was. I think he just wrote it to show that he can do this like easily, but I don't think that many people played it. So the Witcher RPG was a thing that was published later, but I never played it. So I think the games, like video games, were the first games that really, uh, pay justice to this
Mm-hmm.
to Sapkowski's work. But I played so many card games back in the day, and then it was another big game before Gwent
Mm-hmm.
card game. So I spent a lot of time playing. It starts with Age, ends with Hearthstone, and so yeah, I organized tournaments in my home city, and then it appeared that CDPR is starting, esports scene,
Yeah.
and that you need someone to help with events. So here I am.
That's where you joined. That's the origin story, and you've been with us since that time, which is
It's
amazing,
five,
because, like I
you
said,
know,
hmm?
it's 5 years. It's
Really?
it's like I think this May the first challenger in Katowice, the
Mm-hmm.
first challenger of the first season,
Actually, yeah,
it was 2017. I was not there at the time, but you were there.
yeah.
And then we only had one open in Gamescom at the end of the summer 2017, and then it was the first open in Warsaw in our studio.
That's actually true.
And this, so yeah, for me, so you were there during all the 25 episodes, like
Yes.
25 events. I joined at the third one, so I can
That
say we
that
are from.
that
Mhm.
event gives me PTSD, because I remember me and Lothar, we were doing the Polish cast, and the Polish cast was like 12 hours, I think, or something like that. And then I think that was the first time where we said, okay, we're not doing a 1 day event anymore,
Mhm.
ever. Like, we're splitting this into 2 days, because 1 day, it's just impossible to do.
I remember joining fall 2017 the company, and one of the first things, I knew Gwent before I
Mm-hmm.
played it, and but I wanted to see how the event looked, and I remembered one of the days at the office, or maybe 2 days, I spent them all just rewatching the event. Like, it was so freaking long, but I watched it all, so I made notes. Then I tried to give some suggestions. Like,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm looking back at the time, I some of my like some of the ideas that I had, I should have shut up.
No.
No. I remember that back 5 years ago, I thought, hey, I have so many ideas how to do this. But
Mm-hmm.
then I joined a company who already had people who know how to do things like this, right? So I learned a lot during the next few years. So but this, yes, when I'm thinking about this first challenger that I wasn't a part of, I thought, hey guys, they had to be so tired I was watching this live,
Mm-hmm.
so it was so freaking long. So I'm really happy for my sake that we are not doing this anymore.
I think we were
And
also
sometimes,
learning a lot at that time because I feel like even when you joined, like even after the first one, we've come to a conclusion that we kind of learned a lot. Especially that was also after that time. That's when Vlad also joined us, and we kind of revamped how we do esports in order to have it in a way like, yeah, let's not do everything in one day. Let's maybe change the whole like we changed a very short notice. I think we pivoted how the pro rank worked because it used to work differently. And yeah, also like the matter that you need to play with all factions and all that. And the first challenger was mainly invitational, like it was half and half. So half of the players were invited from outside, and how the other half were the best ones that were in Gwent. So it was easy to kind of mix and match those. So it was really cool to have this possibility to kind of mix it up and also have some of these big names check out the game. And life coach from that point on stuck for some time, and also the rest of the guys, like it's nice because you get to meet people like Noxious and PPD, and then we also now like kind of stay in touch. So it's really cool to have this like this relationship building with them, which is really cool. But yeah, I feel like we also learned a lot. So I think at the time that you came, and even if we were pitching some ideas, I think we were still in a phase where any good ideas like we could pretty much take because we're trying to learn as much as possible, right?
Yeah, exactly. The first one was just like a promo. In a way, it was a promotional event, right? We needed to like you already showed the game on the conventions, right? You've been traveling
Yeah.
around the world, but this was the first big one, big tournament, and we needed big names. So I think it like from this perspective, it's you did a great job, right, back then.
Yeah. Yeah, it was for sure a very, very fun event to do. For me, the most like the most coolest, let's say, thing was that we actually had like our architect go there and design everything on stage, and like going first time behind the scenes and actually seeing the whole like ESL crew, because we were doing those with ESL, like amount of equipment and amount of stuff that they have in order to make this whole like production. And it was totally like mind blowing because you felt like on a TV set almost, because it is. And then
Exactly.
this whole thing goes live, and I remember that me and Lothar were in the same building, but like on the first floor where we had just our special booth for the Polish cast. And yeah, it was incredible. But I remember, yeah, I was playing Gwent like every day nonstop, just to remember like all the card abilities, all the card names, in order not to make mistakes. And the best part of this whole cast was that I knew the game in and out. Lothar was kind of like, he had the knowledge but wasn't like 100%. So I got to like correct them and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, I'm the big man here. But well, of course he is and was the more popular guy. I was the one that I was the nerd that knew all the card names. So it felt good. It's like, yeah, nerd wins.
Yeah, this is why I never wanted to be a caster. It's so hard work,
Yeah.
You have to entertain at the same time. If you make just one bad call, the chat, hey chat, I can see you, I can see the chat right now, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that there are people there that if you make just one
Yeah.
mistake, you are done.
They will call you out.
You are not playing enough. Yeah, I'm kidding, but yeah, this is very very tough job, and I think I met Lothar later in Moshna when we did the second challenger. He was only like a host for Polish cast. There were two other Polish casters, and they too were casting all the games. Just
Yeah.
there were no breaks.
Yeah.
As far as I remember, and this was hard as well.
Yeah, I think we had also like one caster rotating on the Polish cast, so one could actually go and eat something, and then one rotated out, the other one sat down, and then but they were kind of back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, because it was like it was Lothar, it was Azon, and it was Ojciec Dwójki Dzieci. So the three of them were kind of rotating So at least one could get a break and go eat something. And yeah, with such a long cast, it's very, very difficult. I think it's much easier now in terms of like having the casters do it from home. Although I'm not taking anything away from them because they're like super professional when it comes to knowing like the names of the cards, the abilities, and kind of what should be played which I think is like the most important thing, like predicting a play like 2-3 steps ahead is kind of the biggest challenge. But also like going back to recent open, I feel like like Spessy and Sealy, like they really brought their game up when it comes to the casting. And yeah, it was also an amazing event. But yeah, I feel like we learned a lot. And there was this moment where we were supposed to do World Masters live. We were prepared for everything, and then COVID hit, and we had to stop everybody from getting on planes almost because they were on their way to the airport, right?
Yeah. This was like this was the like one of the most
nerve-wracking.
Nerve-wracking, but no, this was like for me. It was. I learned a lot because it's almost 2 years ago, right? Over 2 years ago. It was the 14th of March.
Yeah.
When I was leaving the office, pretty sure that everything is prepared, and I'm going out.
Ready.
I'm in the parking lot. Yes, everything is ready, and then Vlad calls me and says, "Repek, we are postponing the event." So yeah, I had to get back to the desk. The first person I called was McBeard and Flake, and he was literally on his way to the airport.
Yeah.
So we stopped them at the very last moment, and frankly, I was very unhappy for a moment, but then it is the same. Like this is what teamwork means. There were several people around us, even from the different teams. There was Marcin Łukaszewski. He's our copywriter, senior copywriter. He was there. He's not even a part of our team or esports team. Sometimes he's writing cool stuff that you can read in our you don't even know that you are reading his stuff,
his work.
but he's behind a lot of our communication. But he was there. He was about to leave the office, but then he noticed that something is going on, and he helped us a lot. Like he has this way with words better than all of us combined, and he was there sitting for 2 hours writing communication for us, everything like to what to say to each partner. This was so amazing. So after these 2 hours, I said, okay, postpone. And we were still very, very unhappy, really, because we've been waiting so long for this event.
Yeah.
It was like 1 year, already. I think it was the season 1 was so long already that really wanted it to end.
Yes.
Right, and something else happens, but at the same time, there was another moment when it was team bonding, and I really. There is nothing that can bring me down till then, right? Because this was the worst that could happen.
Yeah, I also feel like that was one of the worst ones for us, and I think we also learned a lot from it. And after that, when we transitioned to everything online, I feel like it's been fairly smooth. Maybe apart from some technical problems that we have throughout the streams from time to time. But apart from that, I feel like moving on to full online was done quite well. And also like looking at the production value, I don't think we lost a lot. And I also feel like we have now a very, very solid like esports team that is responsible for the broadcast and also everything that kind of goes around the whole thing. And I'm talking about like us as CDPR employees, but also the casting teams and everybody that is kind of responsible for supporting us and all those things. So yeah, that for sure was super cool. Tell me, how was it for you to get into streaming? Like, when would you decide that this is kind of something that you want to pursue?
Yeah, during COVID period, like many people found their new hobbies.
Yeah.
But this took me a bit longer. I think at some point I just really wanted to. That's what I always say when someone asks me this question. Someone asks me this question. That I just wanted to check how it is on the other side, because we are working with casters, which are streamers. We are working with many people who are doing this like on daily basis, sometimes for a living. So while we went online with our events, I just wanted to check how it is on their side, just from very basic things. I'm not a technical guy, but I wanted to know how it feels from their perspective. And frankly, it's kind of addictive. When it feels good, right? If you have, you only need one thing. Like I streamed 37 times during
Wow,
half a
you
year. It's
count
not. It's
everything
not.
always.
Yes, I'm putting a number that
Yeah.
to keep track, but it's not that much, right? Probably it's like 2 or 1 stream a week, but sometimes more, sometimes less. But you only need one thing to feel good. You need only one person there in the chat
Yeah.
who talks to you, and this is all you need. A game is great if you love the game, because if you don't like it, why play it? I love the game. I really like Gwent. No
Yeah,
one is
and you're the
paying me
person
for
that
saying this.
plays it also off camera a lot. So I mean, like you have these, like you were also posting some time ago on your Twitter when you were kind of climbing, but like to pro rank and stuff like that. Like you play the game, and you play the game even before you were streaming it. So it's just natural to stream it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I cannot imagine like playing 8 hours a day. It's for pros, but
No.
like playing 2 or 3 hours, I think I'm still casual, but it's enough to get to pro rank if you focus. Uh, while playing on stream, it's not that easy because it's harder to focus, and I love it. Just talking to people, losing games. It's much playing meta decks off stream is good because you are climbing, you know why they are meta decks, right? But on stream it's great to play meme decks,
Just for the
because when you
fun
are
of it.
playing meme but when you are playing meme decks off stream, it's only you and your opponent that are enjoying this. But when you are doing this on stream, even if you fail, uh, usually there is this fun factor, and so when you play 7 shoops in one game, it's amazing.
Yeah. And so does that mean that is why you've always enjoyed shoop decks, because you wanted to actually play them on stream, or where did this like love for shoop actually happen?
Well, the love for shoop started when in Moshna Castle in 2017. Like we had this second challenger, and this was the day, as far as I remember, we had this infamous midwinter update.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure Shoop appeared like it was his debut, right?
Yeah.
And then um, Gwent is a game of skill, right? Many pro players prefer to game like the not to be too RNG heavy. For me, it's not a problem because I'm not a pro, and unlike like this amount if there is a bit of craziness during the games, so Shop is perfect for this. Right now we have this new card that ruins him, like Rune Mage, sorry, Rune
Yeah.
Mage. He's ruining Shop like totally because you know what's gonna happen. I already built a deck around it, but so yeah, I think this the card just, I don't know. This is this factor in every game that I'm looking for, and in Gwent, it's there is a character behind this
Yeah.
kind of craziness. Sometimes Shup was in the meta. I remember tournaments that were determined by
Yes.
his abilities because they were consistent enough. Right now, probably it's not the case, but I'm pretty sure that he will return if we have Siri Nova decks back. Why not Shup?
Yeah,
What do you think, Shup?
we should
Shup? What do you
totally,
think? What do you
yeah.
think? So, right?
Shoop needs a
Right.
buff.
No. He's fine. Don't touch Shup, please. Don't.
Yeah.
No touching.
Just yeah. I mean, Rune Mage though makes them more consistent, which makes them probably also a little bit better, right?
No, he's fine. But yeah, I love playing meme decks. This is why I really admire Team Bandit Gang. guys, I'm waiting. Guys, ladies, I'm waiting for the TLG meta snapshot is important, but your snapshot matters a lot. So please bring more new memes with the new cards. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of new possibilities to do crazy stuff. If I see some crazy stuff that can be done there, I'm pretty sure that guys from the Team Bandit gang see them as well.
Yeah, I see also people in chat saying that it's a question that in the future will we actually get more cards that are kind of more RNG and kind of less a little bit more on the crazy side like Radea or Shoop. That's hard to say like right now, but I feel like there's always this kind of amount of things which. Like it's like Golden Necker, right? It feels like it's random, but it's not random because you can anticipate like what you're gonna pull out of your deck, which is totally fine based off the cards that you have. So that already makes your life a little bit easier. But I think like going full on RNG Fiesta, that's never like the best way to go.
And it should not, because then we would lose our. Well, this is in our blood that this game is not RNG heavy, and it should stay this way.
Yeah.
Let's leave like for RNG to the others.
Exactly. Plus, we had like you mentioned, midwinter. That was the problem because that's when we introduced create, which was everybody's like, oh my god, this is turning into an RNG game, and I don't want so much RNG within the game itself. So yeah,
amen.
So we covered streaming, we covered Shoop. Your love for board games is something that is always always kind of comes back. But also you mentioned that you got into like D&D related stuff, but maybe not D&D, but Cyberpunk, right? So role playing.
Well, when I became a geek, let's say nerd, in the 90s when I was a teenager, it started with tabletop RPGs. It was first. Of course, there were some board games and science fiction literature, things like this. I had a good supplier. My uncle was supplying with a good stuff, with comic books,
Shout
things
out
like
to him.
this. Yeah, he's great. But yeah, then the tabletop RPGs was my thing, right? That was the first like fandom that I really invested my time into. I organized conventions for tabletop RPGs fans, and like contests for them. A lot. I spent a lot of time going to conventions and talking about RPGs, traditional ones, pen and paper. And Cyberpunk was the first game I was the game master of. So this was the first game I ever game mastered. So for me, like when I'm looking at my life, yes, I'm very old right now. When I'm looking back at my life, I see everything like makes sense. That it was not the whole waste of time sitting with my with the guys from my class in the basement, right? Everything was stinking, right? We are sitting there for several hours, rolling dice. Our mothers shouting at us that it's time to go and do your homework, do anything. Like they were literally wanting, they would literally do anything to get us out of this fantasy world. But yeah, Cyberpunk was first, and then many more followed.
Yeah, plus you also have this like you mentioned comic books, and that kind of also sparked into my head like you enjoy movies and TV shows. You also in Polish you kind of rate them and discuss them, which is really cool. That's also something that is incredible. And one thing that I also wanted to mention is that currently you're also doing a lot of stuff in your free time when it comes to helping out on the border, at the Ukrainian border. So shout out to you, because it's a lot of like hard work, and also like dedicating your free time on the weekend in order to help others out is just it's incredible. Plus the fact that you're very good at it because you're good at managing events, right? And this is also kind of like, in a way, I also see it like managing, like an event and managing people in some way and helping them out. So kudos to you for doing stuff like that.
Well, thank you, but this is again a teamwork. So for those of you who don't know, we have a war behind our eastern border, and a lot of Polish people like help, like and they are helping. It is much more and more difficult right now because everyone is exhausted.
Yeah.
Ukrainians are exhausted, but people in Poland already are exhausted. We want to live our own life. But you said about managing things. I'm not managing at all, right? In this case, there are people who are more capable of doing this. There are activists in Poland who know what to do in the times of crisis. So I'm just a guy with a car, and this is my way to not to feel helpless.
Yeah.
Because if something terrible like this happens, I feel really helpless that I cannot do anything. So with this, we can do something. I'm really proud of our company as well. Again, no one is
Same.
paying me for this. That I'm saying this, but we are a big company in Poland, one of the biggest ones. So there is a kind of responsibility that we can take on our shoulders, and I'm really happy that that our company did this, like with money, but also helping our employees to help. Right? We
Yeah.
In the first weeks of the war, a lot of our employees were allowed to take 3 days, 3 paid days to help. Right? So this is amazing. It's not
Yeah.
that every
It's
company in
not a
Poland
standard,
did.
right?
Yes, it was amazing, and it should work like this. So I'm really happy that we also did this a charity stream, right? So, and I think we should do this in the future. would be would be great not to have to do this, of course, but it is what it is. So
I feel like we're always find a charity in order to kind of support and do streaming for, and I feel like it's cool that companies get behind these initiatives. Like we did one for the LGBTQ plus community. We also did one for Vosh, which is like the biggest charity in Poland. So it's nice that we can support through streaming this initiatives, but also that we're supporting them as a company, which is
yeah.
super important.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes people are saying that we are doing just for PR reasons.
No.
Well, of course, it affects how we are like perceived, right? But we at the backstage, like behind the scenes, we know that people who are supporting these ideas really believe in them, right? So
Yeah.
this was the case with like 1 year ago with LGBT. People in our company really wanted to do this, and they like pushed to do this, right? Said, hey, let's do this. We should, especially in Poland, where LGBT rights are they are non-existent.
Exactly.
So this
Yeah.
was important.
Yeah, I also feel like you working in events also makes you kind of have ears to the ground when it comes to whatever is going on within the company, because it's also because we were talking about events of us going on the road on tour pretty much, and kind of showing what we kind of are working on and stuff like that. But you also do internal events, right? So whenever we have any social events within the studio itself, you're also kind of, plus the team that you work with, responsible for keeping those going. So you're very in tune in terms of like what's going on within the studio and kind of what we're doing, planning and stuff like that.
Yeah, sometimes we are, one of my favorite events is so-called Social Friday. So we gather around the company and
Yeah.
we eat and drink and we have fun. And so we did several editions, maybe I don't know, a lot, like 10. And then after 10 editions, when we think it's on autopilot, that we always know what to do, everything is going correct. Sometimes, of course, there are mistakes. We have things to improve. But then after, I don't know, 10 events, there is a person from my company saying, hey, Repek, you should think about people who have problems, who have impaired, like who are like moving on a wheelchairs,
Yes.
right?
So
And
I have
we
some form
never,
of disability, right?
yes, this, oh yeah, people with disabilities. We never thought about this because we, during the normal day, like at work, it was never the case. It was never a problem. So we thought, hey, it's not a problem. Then someone opens our mind.
Yeah.
So this is a thing that's quite important, like you said, to have your ear close to the ground.
Yeah, be in tune with whatever is going on within the studio. But yeah, I feel like you guys do an amazing job, and like I said in the beginning of when we were talking, that you kind of keep us all, happy, fed, hydrated, but also like we have everything that we need pretty much at any time. I remember also when we were doing like the events, like you were printing out all the stuff for us. So we're kind of, we have the run of the show, that we have the decks and cards to highlights for the casters. So it's they seem like small things, but they all kind of add up to, more and more, having everybody kind of do their job properly and keeping everyone in check. So kudos to you for doing that, because it's freaking amazing, right?
Thank you. And this is why we would love to have community event back to our studio, right?
Yes, it would be awesome. Hopefully we can maybe do something this year in order to actually have people drop by our studio. Also, there's this question of what's going to happen with esports in the future. So maybe in-person events can actually make a comeback one day, which would be amazing. I can't wait for those, because I miss them. I know you also miss them. So it would be nice to have them back.
I almost forgot how it feels, right? But I have this memory of them being great. So, especially at our studio, even if they were not these full-scale events in castles or in salt mines. But we talked about this before the show, that I really loved the last challenger, fifth challenger of the season 1, when Magpie won. We had no venue. We just had our studio. We just had the studio. We had just one cosplayer, our wonderful Kevin in Redin's costume. And
French
this was
community manager.
Yes, that was all. That was all. But we had like 100 people in our studio on the day 1, then maybe 50 on the day 2. Then we had this after party. We just went to grab a beer or two or more after everything, and
Solid event.
It was one of the best. There are so many stories that people remember after an event like this, because we don't need a venue. We need people.
Yeah, we just need people. I feel like you can always write the story of an event if you have the right people, right? And yeah, I mean, like us going also on events, like looking back on everybody's social posts whenever they're going somewhere, there's a lot of cool photos, and there's this camaraderie plus this feeling of being one family kind of, and I feel like the events team always is like the mother and the father trying to keep everybody in check, and the rest of us we're just like kids running around like, oh. And I still remember when we had casters here, you guys were also responsible for going to hotels and knocking if someone overslept or something and stuff like that. I mean, there's lots of stories that come from those.
What happens in hotels stays in hotels.
Exactly. So yeah, those are kind of also amazing. But yeah, it gives you kind of the idea of what's happening on the events behind the scenes. All right. Awesome. We're running into almost 1 hour, so we'll be concluding. Repek, thank you as always. Thank you for taking your time from your busy event schedule. And where can people find you? That's the most important thing to end with.
Oh, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm
always
happy that you.
I thought we already had you, right?
I was there crying in the corner every week. No, but I'm really grateful that I could be here. And where can you find me? You can find me on Twitter, Mr. Repek, MR Repek. And tonight, if my PC doesn't crash, because
fingers crossed,
it's crashing a lot, but right now it's fine. It's 50 minutes and it's fine. I'm going to stream this amazing game of Gwent at
nice.
twitch.tv/Mr. Repek. So if you have a second or 4 hours, tune in.
Second or 4 hours?
Yeah, 1 second or 4 hours. Yeah,
wow.
I think I'm going to stream for 4 hours until midnight.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Then all of us we have to tune in this case if it's going to be 4 hours. Easy. Cool, Repek. Thank you. We'll probably also have you again because if we keep on going with these, and you and Shoop, of course, because you guys are always, you're a team. Yeah, awesome stuff. Take care, my friend. And I'm thinking who we should be rating, but I have Lionhearts standing by, so we'll throw it over to him. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Twig will come back next week with a new guest, so check it out. Bye.
Bye.